This is why you should never do brujeria, especially if it has to do with taking someone's free will away. For the sake of the story, we're gonna call her Lydia. Lydia had just recently gotten married to Mark. Now, Lydia had 2 daughters from her previous marriage, and Mark also had 2 sons from his previous marriage. In the beginning, everything was fine, but once Lydia and Mark got married, Lydia became almost jealous of the time that Mark would spend with his sons. Anytime he would talk about sending money to his sons or his sons spending the weekend with them or anything related to his sons, she had a problem with. In her mind, since they got married, she wanted her daughters to be the only 2 children in their lives. She wanted nothing to do with his sons. As time went on, she became a little desperate and decided to reach out to a brujo. The brujo told her that he can give her something to make it so that Mark completely forgets about his sons, but it was gonna come at a high price. No matter what, Lydia said she didn't care how much it cost, that she would pay it, that she just wanted this to be dealt with. The following day, Lydia had a little jar or a little bottle with her. When she was making Mark dinner, she added into his dinner and Mark went and ate it. Not long after, he had completely forgotten about his sons to the point that he had completely cut off contact with his sons. He made it so that her daughters were the only kids in his life, even down to giving them his last name. This worked for a while until Lydia realized that in order to keep the spell going or the spell strong, she had to continuously give Mark this concoction. They ended up running into hard times where money was tight and she was no longer able to afford paying the brujo for these continuous little jars of. She decided that since enough time had passed where he had had 0 contact with his sons, that he should have forgotten it by now. Against the brujo's wishes, she stopped paying the brujo and stopped giving Mark. Once whatever she was giving him wore off, it was almost like she woke up a D word within him. He became extremely abusive, not just with her, but with her children. She went back to the brujo trying to get help, but the brujo at this point completely turned her away and said that this was completely out of his hands at this point, that Mark had gone way too long without having this little concoction, that even if he tried to give it to him again, it wouldn't work the same. Long story short, Mark became so enraged one day, and again, this is from all of the mind games and all the mind controlling that he endured for all those years that she was giving him this concoction. Once everything went back, it was almost like his mind didn't go back normally and he became someone that Lydia didn't recognize. One day, Mark became so enraged that he actually ended up unaliving not just Lydia, but her 2 daughters and then Mark himself.